All right, are you looking to move to Kelowna, British Columbia, or you already live here and you just want to learn more about this area? Then you're going to want to stay tuned to this video. This isn't going to be a short, reel type video. This is going to be the ultimate A to Z guide on Kelowna and all of the neighborhoods that make up this beautiful Okanagan city. And in this video, I'm going to be covering every major neighborhood that makes up the city. I'll be letting you know about the costs, the lifestyle, where it is, the schools, the amenities, and who I think this neighborhood is best suited for. This will be the most in-depth video on Kelowna that's ever been made. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. All right, so now we are in the Joe Rich neighborhood. So Joe Rich is located just east of Rutland on Highway 33. It is your last stop on the way out of town before you hit Big White. It's a pretty large expanding area. Like right now I'm in the section just outside of Black Mountain, but Joe Rich expands a pretty huge section. It's kind of a sprawling rural community. You have the Joe Rich Community Hall, the Joe Rich Fire Department. You have an outdoor rink near the Joe Rich Hall, but other than that, all of the amenities and all of your access to amenities are going to be located in Rutland. You're about 10 minutes out from Rutland, 20 to 25 minutes from downtown, and 25 minutes to Big White. That is a nice thing about if you're living out in Joe Rich, you want a little more space, you want a little more land. It has a lot more affordability than Southeast Kelowna. You don't have as great as access to the downtown, but you are very close to everything that Rutland offers, which realistically is everything you need. And if you're someone who likes to hit up the mountain, you ski, you snowboard, you just like spending time at Big White, there literally is no better neighborhood with closer access to Big White than the Joe Rich community. Now, in terms of amenities, like I said, everything you're going to be accessing in Rutland, and I've kind of already gone over and discussed the amenities that Rutland has. Same thing for schools. Any school that you're going to be attending while living in Joe Rich, if you have kids, you're going to have to be bused from Joe Rich down into Rutland. So it is pretty limiting in terms of what it offers with amenities and school. But if you're looking for a peaceful, more rural lifestyle with more affordability, Joe Rich might be a good option for you. The types of homes that are going to be out in this area are definitely going to be mostly acreages. You have some nice log cabin style properties, and the average price for a home out in the Joe Rich community in the last 360 days is $1,069,533. And on average, I would say the properties are quite a bit more affordable than that. It's just, again, you do have a lot of land out here, and in Kelowna, in the Okanagan, land is the most expensive thing out here. So a property out in Joe Rich that's only on an acre is going to be very affordable when it comes to the terms of single family homes. But if you're on 50, 100 acres out here, yeah, you're probably going to be looking at the $1 million plus range, no matter what kind of home is actually sitting on the property. And for the archetype that I think is going to be most suited for this lifestyle out here, it's going to be people who want to live rural, maybe people who want to live off grid, they want to live on acreages, maybe have a hobby farm. Definitely someone who wants space and doesn't really care how close they are to amenities. They're okay with having to drive 20, 25 minutes to get groceries, go to school, get into town, and don't need that immediate city access. All right, so that wraps up Joe Ridge. Let's move on to the next neighborhood. All right, we're in the next neighborhood, and if you can't tell by these views behind me, we are in Black Mountain. Black Mountain is located east of Rutland along Highway 33, actually occupying both sides of the highway. You have the Black Mountain side, and where we are right now, the Kirshner Mountain side. And one thing I will say Black Mountain is absolutely known for is its incredible views. In terms of amenities, Black Mountain is a little bit limited. You have the Black Mountain Championship Golf Course, but you have quick, easy access just down the hill, 5 minutes, and you have all of the amenities that Rutland has, from shopping, coffee shops, restaurants, you name it. And you are only about 10 to 15 minutes from downtown city central here in Kelowna, where the mall area is, Costco, and all your big box stores. This is a quiet and peaceful neighborhood, a little bit out of the hustle and bustle of downtown, with, like I said, very easy access to amenities. Now, the type of housing you're going to find here is single family homes. There's older areas like the Tuvi Mountain area, but then you have brand new, beautiful, modern builds up in the Blue Sky, which is a new master plan community, Lone Pine, which is another master plan community, especially in the upper sections on the Black Mountain side of the highway. You're going to find some really new, beautiful, modern homes, and you're getting a lot of that the farther you go up on the Kirshner Mountain side too. Black Mountain also has some great townhouse options, and they are pretty on par, probably a bit under average in terms of affordability. The average price for a single family home in the last 360 days here in Black Mountain is $1,100,000 $923,000, which is pretty on par with our average price of single family homes here. I think the prices are a little higher because we do have a lot of new builds in this area. And of course, when you have views like this, you're going to be paying a price for it for sure. And in terms of the ideal archetypal lifestyle for this area, I feel like you have family starting out because again, there are sections and there are homes with a little more affordability. Professionals, ski and snowboard enthusiasts, because again, besides Joe Rich, this is your last neighborhood as you're leaving Kelowna proper and heading up to the mountain Big White. So you can be up there in 25 to 30 minutes. People are probably looking for a little more of a quieter lifestyle because it's out of the really busy sections of Rutland. And of course, this is an ideal area for people who are view seekers. If you see my last video where I talk about the 5 best neighborhoods with views, Black Mountain was at the top of my list because honestly, there aren't many areas here that you can't get an incredible view. And they are ever expanding views covering the city, mountain, lakes, agricultural land reserve area of Southeast Kelowna, city views. It really has something for everybody. But that wraps up the Black Mountain area, another beautiful, idyllic neighborhood. Now, let's quickly move on to the next one. And we're going to head a little closer to the airport and check out that neighborhood. All right, we are now in the Rutland neighborhood located in the northeast section of Kelowna. Rutland is one of the largest neighborhoods in Kelowna, comprised of Rutland North and South, and realistically, the main differences between the two is Rutland North is a little more rural, a little more industrial influence, especially as you get closer to the Sexsmith area right below Ellison, and Rutland South is more residential, a little closer to the amenities and shopping and school. And in terms of amenities, Rutland is abundant in them. Rutland realistically has everything you need in the neighborhood, where if you live in Rutland, you don't really have to actually leave the area to go get anything. It has Rutland Recreation Park, the YMCA, Plaza 33 Shopping Center that's going to have your groceries. There is a ton of restaurants located throughout Rutland. Some of the best ethnic cuisine in the entire city is located in Rutland. You also have some incredible parks like Centennial Park, and of course, where I am right now, Ben Lee Park, which, has the skate park. It has a huge kids playground and water park in the summer. There's always activities and classrooms coming here from the various schools around the area. And in terms of schools, again, Rutland is plentiful in schools. You have Rutland Elementary, Spring Valley Middle School, Rutland Secondary School. If you need to get downtown, Rutland is 10 to 15 minutes in busy traffic from downtown. You still have great access to Big White. You're close to the airport, the university, and easy access to Highway 97 if you want to head north out of town to the Lake Country area. So Rutland has a lot of attractive qualities. The lifestyle I feel like Rutland suits the best is young families starting out, people looking to get into their first home, because here in Rutland, affordability is key. It's one of the most affordable areas in the entire city. So people who are looking to get into the market or people looking to invest. Rutland has a lot of sections that are on this new development, high density core where there's land development deals. But what I think Rutland's investment opportunities are best known for is it's affordable single family homes with suites. So you have the 2-door income, and those can come in Rutland from the $800,000 mark to $950,000. So for looking at homes with a suite, Rutland is going to give you the best options, whether you want to live in this place and grow your investment or just buy it flat out as an investment. The styles of home in this area, there are older ranchers, townhomes, there's condos and apartments. There are some newly built homes, especially when you get up into the hills, but realistically, Rutland is really known for what we call in the real estate industry here is the Rutland specials, those 70s, 80s, 90s built single family homes with great affordability. The average price for a single family home here in Rutland is $825,897. So again, besides a couple of the neighborhoods, Rutland is going to offer probably some of the best affordability. So if you are someone, you're a young person looking to get into the market, you're a young family that's moving here, this is also a very multicultural area. Rutland offers a safe haven for a numerous amount of archetypes. I think the fact that it's so big, it has so many amenities, it has great affordability, it has great options for schools. There is a large number of people that I think Rutland suits. So if you've never been here before, I really think you should check out this neighborhood, especially if you're planning to move here. But that wraps up Rutland North and South. Let's head over to the next neighborhood. All right, we are now in the Ellison community. This is the most northeastern neighborhood in all of Kelowna. It's right on the edges of town, just east of the airport and UBCO. So you're actually at the last stop before you're leaving Kelowna's municipality and heading towards Lake Country. Now, Ellison is about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on the time of day, the type of traffic, to downtown, but you obviously have extremely quick access, like 5 to 10 minutes to Rutland and all of its amenities. You kind of have three sections of the city where your major amenities are. You have Rutland, you have the city center, that's kind of Springfield and Spall area with the Costco, the Walmart, and then you have Kelowna's downtown. So Ellison, about 20 to 30 minutes from downtown, but very close to Rutland and all of its amenities. And like I said, in terms of major amenities, you have the airport, you have UBCO, you have Ellison Heritage Community Center. Right behind me, you have Sunset Ranch Golf and Country Club. In terms of schools, you have Ellison Elementary, you have Rutland Middle and Secondary School. So you do have to commute to Rutland once you get past elementary school for your kids. And when I think about Ellison, I think of the fact that Kelowna really has three rural areas. We have the Joe Rich area, the Ellison area, and Southeast Kelowna. Ellison, you could argue, has some of the best access to certain amenities of all three of the rural areas, considering its proximity to the university, airport, and access out to lake country. It has great affordability. Like Joe Rich, it doesn't have that extremely expensive land that Southeast Kelowna does. And here out in Ellison, you have everything from single family homes, sprawling acreages and farms. You have these bare land strata type properties like that of Sunset Ranch. And the average price for a single family home in Ellison is $900,011. So definitely on the more affordable side of things when you're looking at the average of Kelowna single family homes. And it's a pretty unique and quaint community. It definitely offers that lifestyle for people who are looking for affordability, want a little more space. Maybe they're having to commute in and out of town, so they need close proximity to the airport. Or if you have kids that are planning to go to UBCO besides the university district, and maybe you could argue Glenmore, Ellison is going to give you fantastic access to that. I feel like this is a very quiet community that doesn't get mentioned as often, and it might provide that type of lifestyle that's absolutely perfect for certain people. There are a ton of hiking and walking trails. You have access to the hiking trails that bring you to Postal Falls, just northeast of actually this neighborhood. And again, you're never too far from any of your needs. But as you see, as we're going through these neighborhoods, we're starting to find the unique lifestyles, the unique amenities that are associated with each area. And if you're moving here, or even if you live here and you really haven't explored Kelowna to the fullest, you might not be aware of what areas are going to work best for you. And of course, even more importantly, the areas that might not work for you at all. So to figure that out, to answer some of your questions, you got to reach out to me. You can call me, text me, email me at the information on the screen right now, or linked in the description down below. I also have a link for a free 30-minute consultation where you can book a Zoom with me. I can answer any questions you have, get you properly set up, especially if you're considering moving here in the next year or 2 years. You're going to start to want to do your research early and get in tune with the market. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I have people reaching out to me every single week that I help out, and I want to simplify the process for you. But now we're finished with Ellison. Let's head to the actual university area and talk about the university district. All right, we are now at a very north end neighborhood on one of the last stops before you leave town in the University District. Obviously, the University District, similar to the amenities of Ellison, we are right across the highway from the Kelowna International Airport. We are just north, minutes north of the University of British Columbia Okanagan campus. And so you're just out of downtown at the University District. In terms of other amenities, you have a bit of a university shopping center. There's a few restaurants, there's groceries, a liquor store, gas station. And basically they have enough amenities up here since the UBCO campus is a little bit outside of town. They kind of purposely set a bunch of amenities up here that students aren't having to run into town for all of their needs. Any major amenities, you could head into Rutland or straight down the highway to the big box stores of Kelowna. But this is a great area for university students, obviously, with its close proximity to the UBCO. You're also attracting sometimes a bit of an older crowd in this area since you are also getting the golf course living up here. The University District is centered around the Bear and the Quail golf course, which is one of the nicer golf courses in town, and it spreads throughout this entire neighborhood with the two 18-hole courses. And in terms of housing styles, you definitely have a lot of purposeful built rentals right on or near in proximity to UBCO. You also have some fantastic townhouses surrounding the golf course and some really nice luxury built single family homes. This is a really peaceful and quiet neighborhood. It's serene being a little outside of town. You're going to get a bit of air traffic noise from the airport, but it's not overly noticeable here. The average cost of a single family home here is $1,135,609. So you're definitely on the higher end of things. I'm not looking at the average total affordable, including condos and townhouses, but there are some more affordable apartments here, some smaller sizes, specifically built for people who are looking to go to university or parents who, instead of renting, would rather buy a property for their kid, not have to pay rent and grow in equity. So there are some great affordability options in terms of apartments. In terms of single family homes, it's a great area. You're getting a lot of the craftsman, West Coast contemporary style, a lot of that Tuscan build style with some sweeping views, mainly looking into the valley. You're getting panoramic mountain views, a lot of them facing towards the airport. So if aviation is your thing, this is going to be a great neighborhood for that. And if you're someone who has to frequently head north to Lake Country or even the Vernon area for work, this is going to be a fantastic option for you. I would say this area is best suited for retirement age people who want to live on a golf course, because you have great options in single family homes and newly built luxury townhouses right on the course. But I think it's most ideal for families looking to move to Kelowna and their kids going to the university, or they're looking to buy an apartment or a condo at an affordable price where their kid can live while they go to school. Obviously, the university district, it's so centered around UBCO, and I think that's the most attractive quality of this neighborhood as a whole. Very beautiful neighborhood, doesn't get talked about nearly as much, but in the people I've had visiting town and coming to Kelowna as of recent, they've all had this area on the list and everyone has had positive things to say about it. But that wraps up the university district, and speaking of areas that don't get talked about enough, let's head over to McKinley Landing and check it out. All right, we are now in the lakeside community of McKinley Landing, the most northwestern community in all of Kelowna. It is your last stop out of town via Glenmore Road as you head towards Lake Country. You're about 20-25 minutes from Kelowna's downtown core. McKinley isn't really an area that's known for its amenities. You have the McKinley Beach Marina and Lake Club. Here you're going to have most of your amenity access in the North Rutland area, or if you want to head straight to downtown, again, you're only 20 to 25 minutes, but in terms of actual amenities in the neighborhood, there aren't really any in terms of shopping and restaurants. The reason you come out to McKinley is you want that peace and quiet. This is one of those very secluded, kind of exclusive communities that offers a lifestyle for people who want quick access to nature, hiking, want to be relatively close to the water, and don't really want to be right in town. McKinley is almost equal distance from Kelowna's downtown to Lake Country, and there's realistically kind of two sections to McKinley. You have McKinley Landing, which is the mainstay neighborhood, where you have a blend of some modern but mostly established single family home. And then you have the McKinley Beach area, which is Kelowna's version of Lakestone. And if you know Lakestone, you've seen my videos on that. It's an extremely high-end luxury community full of townhouses, apartments, and luxury modern built homes with their own amenity centers that include a fitness center, a spa, tennis courts. And if you're looking for that high-end lifestyle, the McKinley Beach section of McKinley Landing is definitely going to be the best option for you. Because of that luxury McKinley Beach section, the average price for a single family home in the McKinley Landing neighborhood as a whole is $1,688,299. So definitely on the higher end of the spectrum when you're looking at prices of home, but that's because they have this huge McKinley Beach section, which is filled with luxury, incredible, breathtaking views and stunning homes. So if you're looking for that luxury lifestyle, then the McKinley Beach is going to be more of your cup of tea, where if you just want to be in a quiet, I wouldn't say rural area, but exclusive lakeside community, the McKinley Landing might fit your needs a little bit better. And in terms of schools, you're going to be serviced by the Glenmore and Rutland area, and whatever school catchment is going to best suit your needs. So if you're looking for exclusivity and waterfront lifestyle, I think McKinley Landing might be right up your alley. Now let's get over to the next neighborhood. All right, we are now in the Wilden community, located about 10 to 12 minutes just north of downtown, sandwiched in between Glenmore North and McKinley Landing. Wilden is a beautiful, modern, luxury master plan community known for its modern luxury homes. It has a great mix of townhouses and some really fantastic hillside homes with some of the best views that are offered in the entire city. In terms of the notable amenities here, I mean, one of the biggest amenities that Wilden has is its access to nature, from Knox Mountain Park to Hidden Lake, Still Pond, and Wilden's expansive trail network. In terms of shopping amenities and restaurants, you don't really have anything set in Wilden, but you are very close to Glenmore's shops, restaurants, and kind of all of the necessary needs that Glenmore offers. And North Glenmore and Wilden kind of integrate seamlessly with each other. In terms of schools here, you have Glenmore Elementary, you have Knox Elementary, Watson Road Elementary, and anyone going to high school is going to have to commute to Colona Secondary School. And like I said, in terms of the style of houses, you have a lot of this kind of new modern luxury, West Coast contemporary and craftsman style builds. The average price for a home here for single family homes in the last 360 days is $1,515,850. And Wilden is definitely up there for, I would say it's one of the top 3 most expensive neighborhoods in all of Kelowna. In terms of who I feel like this area is best for, I mean, if someone is wanting a view, this is a fantastic area, especially in some of those upper areas like Red Sky Court. But this is definitely more of an affluent neighborhood with the high average price. And this is one of the most recently built master plan communities in Kelowna in terms of a full neighborhood. So the average age of a home here is fairly new. So it's definitely going to attract people to the area who can afford this lifestyle. But of course, like I said, there are townhomes that are reasonably priced, especially around Hidden Lake, that offer some access to people without as high of a budget as some of the modern hillside homes with incredible views here. So in terms of the communities just north of downtown, there are several other options. So let's go check them out. All right, we are now in one of the most popular communities in all of Kelowna, and that is the Glenmore community. Now, Glenmore is a community that's just north of downtown. I mean, 5 minutes from the bottom of Old Glenmore. And it is a fairly large community expanding into the hills all the way to northern Glenmore. Again, sandwiched in between Kelowna's north and stretches all the way to just below McKinley Beach. And one of the first words when I think of Glenmore that comes into my mind is family friendly. I feel like Glenmore is definitely known for its family friendly communities. It has several parks, and it definitely has a diverse range of homes from condos, townhouses, 55 plus communities, more modest starter single family homes to luxury builds. So Glenmore really does have it all, and it has the lifestyle and amenities to suit it. You have the Glenmore shopping center that's going to have your basic needs in terms of groceries, restaurants, coffee shops, gas stations, and they have several little shops, hairdressers scattered throughout Glenmore. But another nice and notable thing about Glenmore is its accessibility. If you're heading north towards Lake Country, you're heading to downtown, you're heading over Dilworth Mountain to the city center, or you're making your way to the university, Glenmore has a lot of arms, a lot of roads in and out of it that makes it an incredibly accessible community. So realistically, Glenmore has 2 sections. The more southern part we consider Old Glenmore, and then the northern part is North Glenmore. Old Glenmore is known more for its characters, 1960s to 1980s, some early 90s style homes and infill townhouses, where North Glenmore definitely has some of that, but it has some newer homes, some very modern townhouses. And those 2 sections of Glenmore really add to the character and overall accessible lifestyle to this area. The average price for a home here in Glenmore is $1,006,270. So kind of on par with the average price of a home. But the nice thing, like I said about Glenmore, when I'm talking about style of homes, there's too many to name. Glenmore has something for everybody. So if you're not ready to get into a single family home yet, you have your condo options. If you're elderly and you prefer more of a gated community, you have those options as well. Or if you want to be into something new, but your budget is limited a bit, you have these brand new townhomes. So to me, the type of lifestyle that Glenmore attracts, or the person who I feel like this area is right for, is realistically anybody. Glenmore has something for everybody, whether you're a bachelor, a young family, a more established family looking to move on to a bigger second home, or you're someone who's looking to settle down and retire. Glenmore's got you covered. That's why I believe it's one of the most popular neighborhoods, and definitely an area you should check out if you're moving here. And if you are a young family moving here, Glenmore has a great array of schools, from Glenmore Elementary to Watson Road Elementary to Dr. Knox Secondary School. And there are also an array of private schooling options like Aberdeen Hall and daycares throughout Glenmore. So if you're coming to Kelowna, you're planning on moving here, I'm sure you've heard of Glenmore before, but if you are here, you absolutely have to check it out. All right, we are now smack dab in the center of the city in the Dilworth community here in Kelowna. Now, you heard me talk a little bit about Glenmore's accessibility. Dilworth is the #1 neighborhood in all of Kelowna in terms of accessibility. It has everything that Glenmore has, but a little more in and out access in terms of heading towards the city center, which is directly behind me. Dilworth is a relatively small community. It's built up on the mountain, so you're going to get incredible views either facing inwards towards towards the valley and more the city center, or outwards towards downtown and the lake. Even some use looking northwards towards North Glenmore. This is an area that can attract anyone from young families to professionals to an older demographic that is looking for a bit more peace and quiet but wants to remain extremely central. There is really nothing in terms of what Dilworth offers in terms of amenities. I mean, it has a few really nice parks in this area, but in terms of shopping, restaurant, groceries, you're going to have great access whether you're going to city center, you're heading into Glenmore for those needs. In terms of school, Dilworth splits its catchment with Rutland and Glenmore, so you have access to all of those schools, plus extremely close access to the university and private schooling options. The average price for a home at the time of this video is $1,160,740. And in terms of style of homes, it has some Tuscan builds, some craftsman styles, generally those large custom late 90s to early 2000s style homes, several of them with some amazing views. And like I said, you're either getting the valley view, northern Glenmore view, or city and lake views. So you do have some great options. It also has some really great townhouse options, more on the higher end of your budget townhouse options. But if you're going to come to Kelowna and you want the place that has the best accessibility in any of the neighborhoods that we're going to go over in this video, then Dilworth is a no-brainer to me. Plus, you can get some really incredible views like you see behind me. All right, we are now in the extremely convenient neighborhood of Springfield and Spall. Springfield and Spall is located just east of downtown and runs along one of the main arteries that go from east to west in Kelowna, just to the east of Highway 97. This is a very long and narrow neighborhood that occupies a convenient and also very affordable lifestyle. Here, of course, you're going to have fantastic access to any of the amenities at our city center, from the malls, shopping centers, restaurants, big box stores. And in terms of homes, you have a variety of access to townhouses, condos, bungalow-style single-family homes, mainly those built in the 60s to late 80s. And when I'm comparing this accessibility-wise to neighborhoods like Glenmore or Dilworth, those feel like more suburban-style neighborhoods, where Springfield and Spall definitely feels like more of that urban city living for sure. I would say the majority of options here are going to be condos, and there are some fantastic options for that. But it has one of the most affordable array of options in terms of single-family homes here, with an average price of single-family homes of $687,387. So when I'm looking at the list and I'm crunching the numbers in the last 360 days, Springfield and Spall is the most affordable neighborhood on the list. Now, your options are a little more limited, I would say, in this neighborhood. Again, you have those bungalow-style homes. You have small little subsections of neighborhood, but the majority of what you're going to be getting in this area, which isn't included in that average price, is going to be that condo-style living. I say we have two sections of downtown in Colona North and Colona South, but realistically, we have a third section with Springfield and Spall. It's just not as convenient in terms of access to the downtown amenities, but is very close and on a transit route. So for someone who's looking to get that affordability, still wants to be accessible, maybe they're commuting to the university or they need to head into downtown, Springfield and Spall is going to be a fantastic option. I kind of mentioned the amenities in terms of the stores, but where we are right now is an access point just across from the mall on the Mission Greenway, which if you've seen my videos before, you know the Mission Greenway is a beautiful trail system that runs along the creek that stretches from the tip of Kelowna all the way down to the lake. So even in a very urban neighborhood like Springfield and Spall, you are still getting that access to nature. So this neighborhood, I will say, does have a lot of flexibility. In terms of schools, you have access to Spring Valley Elementary and Middle School and Kelowna Secondary School. Now, I will say, in the total of the neighborhoods we're looking at in this video, I wouldn't say this is the most family-friendly neighborhood. Not that you couldn't live here with your family and still very much enjoy it, but it doesn't have that feel like a Glenmore or the Missions or Kettle Valley or Crawford. There are just some neighborhoods in Kelowna that have more of a family-friendly feel. I would say this is a great area for a young couple, single people, or even the retiree community looking for convenience and access at an affordable price. And if that's on your checklist, then you're definitely going to want to check out the Springfield and Spall neighborhood. All right, we are in none other than Kelowna's North, aka Kelowna's downtown waterfront and cultural district. So if you're moving to the city and you want to be dead center in the kind of liveliness, urban environment that Kelowna has to offer, then Kelowna's North neighborhood is probably going to be number one on your list. I talk about how we have a few sections that we consider downtown or sub-downtowns, but truly Kelowna's North is the heart of downtown. This is where you're going to find all our main bars and restaurants. This is where you're going to find our waterfront and beach access. This is where the high-rise condos are going to be. This is where the majority of events and concerts are going to be held, from the theater downtown to Prospera Place, where the Kelowna Rockets play, and the largest density of high-rise buildings and that condo downtown city-style living is going to be here in Kelowna's North. This is one neighborhood where I would say if you're looking at moving into Kelowna's North, I wouldn't recommend checking out solely single-family homes. And that's because Kelowna's North is in the central transit corridor. So a lot of the single-family homes are going to be old, they're on smaller lots, they're smaller square footage, and their lot value is so expensive because of the future zoning use, which is usually going to be higher density. So they're taking these older single-family homes, they're building new infill homes, fourplexes, condos, and it definitely increases the value of single-family homes. The average price for single-family home in Kelowna's North is $881,124, and when you're looking around at the single families in this area, you're probably not going to be too overly impressed. Now, it doesn't mean this is not a great neighborhood for living. If you want to be in a new modern townhouse, a fourplex, even some of the cool character single family homes, this is a great option. But I think the main lifestyle and the high desirability of this area is that high-rise condo living, which we do have fantastic options for. I mean, we're right next to the lagoons and the dolphins beside me. If you look behind me, you can see one Water Street, and we have an array of other options, from the Brooklyn, from the block on Bernard to Water Street by the park. And these are very high-end luxury condos with some incredible amenities. But of course, if you're going to be downtown, you want to be here for the lifestyle. This is an area where you have close access to the main transit system. If you're living or working from home, or you work downtown, you can just get out of your condo and walk to wherever you want to go. If you're a foodie or you like the nightlife, there's not going to be a better option for you. And the nice part is you still have incredibly close access to nature with Knox Mountain at the northern part of this neighborhood. And of course, you are all along the waterfront, so you have some amazing beaches, from Tugboat Beach to City Park, and of course the Marina Park, which is going to be an amazing place for events, wedding venues, or just going out on your afternoon walk. In terms of schools here, you have Bankhead Elementary and Kelowna Secondary School. Again, this might not be the number one option for a young family, but it still has the amenities to suit your family's lifestyle, from restaurants and groceries to schooling options to outdoor activities. And if you're someone who doesn't need too much space, this might be a perfect option for you. But realistically, the person who I feel like suits this neighborhood the best is usually a young professional, someone who doesn't need much, wants to be in that urban living environment in the heart of downtown. But realistically, when I talk about who this neighborhood is best suited for, it's going to be that young professional, either a couple or a bachelor, that wants to be in that high-rise condo style living, wants that close access to amenities, wants that insane walkability to all of their needs, wants to be in that urban living environment in the heartbeat of the city. That is who Kelowna's North and Kelowna's downtown is really for. And if you're coming to Kelowna, obviously you should check out all these neighborhoods I'm mentioning, but you're going to definitely want to check out Kelowna's downtown just to see how much it's grown and how exciting it actually is. But that's going to wrap up Kelowna's downtown. Now let's shoot just south across the highway to what I consider Kelowna's second downtown. All right, we are now in the Colona South area, or as I like to call it, our second downtown. Now, it's obviously not as busy and dense as Kelowna's proper downtown, which is just north of the highway. Kelowna South is located just south of the highway and contains areas like the Abbott Street corridor. It surrounds the Kelowna General Hospital and then heads into Pandosy Village right before entering the Lower Mission. When I talk about this neighborhood, one of the things I always mention is how diverse it is in terms of what it offers, what type of lifestyle could be best suited for this area, and its array of amenities. Similar to downtown, it has tons of options in terms of grocery shopping, restaurants, hairdressers, pretty much everything you need, but it's a little more peaceful than Kelowna's downtown, which is a lot more of the hustle and bustle. In terms of the type of housing that is offered in the area, it's literally everything from 55 plus communities, condos, townhouses, luxury, waterfront, single family homes, beautiful, really unique character homes, and of course, course, if you're along the Abbott Street corridor, heritage homes, which if you're unfamiliar with heritage homes, they are given that designation, and essentially they're usually very old character homes right around some of the first homes that were built in Kelowna. Once they're given that designation, there's not too much you can do with them. You know, if you're looking to buy a heritage home up and you're like, I just want the lot, I want to build a luxury, modern, brand new single family home on it, you can't do much. They're designated heritage homes, and essentially they have to stay in their original condition and keep that similar aesthetic that this area, especially Abbott Street corridor, is known for. And if you continue down Colona South to the Pandozi Village area, you're going to have your restaurants, your shopping centers. Honestly, some of my favorite choices for ethnic cuisine in the city, especially in the little strip that has Momo Sushi, Zab Thai, and of course chutneys. In terms of schools in the area, you have Raymer Elementary, KLO Secondary School, and then Kelowna Secondary School. So you have a great options for schooling. So if you're a family moving to the area, this is an area that, like I said, is very diverse. For the type of person who this area I feel like is meant for is a wide variety. I would say one of the key things that this neighborhood centers around is Kelowna General Hospital, and Interior Health is a huge employer of many people in the Okanagan. So if you're someone moving to Kelowna and you want to be in walking distance to the hospital, Kelowna South should definitely be on your list of neighborhoods you want to check out. And like I said, they have every option from condos, 55 plus, townhouses, etc. But for the average price of single family homes, you're looking at $1,121,919. So again, that's kind of in line with the average cost throughout Kelowna. But if you're someone who's looking for that urban lifestyle, but just not dead smack in the center of downtown, I think Kelowna South is a really interesting and fantastic option for you. Again, if you are looking for a single family home, there are a lot of options here, but we're in that kind of core district where the single family homes are very small. A lot of them are very old and they're expensive because the rezoning potential for this area is so high. They are redeveloping a lot of this area and densifying it to make townhouses, condos, and new infill homes. So it's like Kelowna North, where I wouldn't say it's the best option for single family homes, but for luxury townhouses, really nice townhouses or condos, and again, 55 plus communities, I think you can't really look past Kelowna South because it's a fantastic option for that. So as you're going through this video, if you looked at Kelowna's downtown and Kelowna North and thought it was a little too much, I definitely recommend checking out Kelowna South. All right, you can probably guess which neighborhood or community that I'm in right now. If you're familiar with my videos or you've been to Kelowna, we are clearly in the southeast neighborhood here in Kelowna, BC. Obviously located in the southeastern section of town, not the most southeastern. Okay, definitely, like I was saying, one of Kelowna's most rural communities. We actually just had to stop filming like a couple of times because a herd of deer just ran towards us, and then there was a random dog that for some reason is in the middle of the forest. But yeah, if you want to be in an area that has that really rural farm-like environment, I mean, southeastern Kelowna is sprawling hills, vineyards, farmland with large acre properties, and really gives you that sense of like country living while having very close access still to all the city amenities. I mean, you are at most 20 to 25 minutes from any of the amenities to city center or all the way to downtown. And there's a lot of in and out access points to Southeast Kelowna, making it pretty convenient in that terms. In terms of actual amenities in Southeast Kelowna, there aren't a ton. I mean, hey, if you're looking to go hiking, we have Myra Canyon Bellevue, we have the Trestles, which are beautiful and incredible in terms of nature, and we also have some of the best golf courses in all of Kelowna with Gallagher's Canyon Golf Course and the Harvest. But in regards to amenities like grocery or shopping, that's really not why you're choosing this area to live in. You're coming here because you want peace, quiet, solitude, and a lot of space. If you do want amenities, your short trip to downtown, now especially with the new amenities in the Upper Mission at the ponds, you have decently quick access if you need to run quickly and get some groceries, depending on where you're located in Southeast Kelowna, because it is a large sprawling area. So you can be pretty deep into the bush and things may take you a little extra time, say if you're right off of Saucier, which is kind of the entrance to Southeast Kelowna. So in terms of schools here, there is Southeast Elementary, but for secondary, high school, anything like that, you are going to have to leave the neighborhood, either going to Okanagan Mission Secondary School or Kelowna Secondary School. And I kind of briefly touched on this, but in regards to housing styles, I mean, it's a lot of custom out here. There are a few mobile home parks parks. I mean, there's golf course living in Gallagher, so you get that rancher, Bearland strata, or townhouse style in the Gallagher's area, but mostly it's large acre lots, some large properties that are on farmland, you know, hobby farms, orchards. The only downside I would say about this area, if you are looking for that rural living, it comes at a pretty hefty price tag. I mean, land throughout the Okanagan is relatively expensive, but you can definitely get more land at a better deal when you're somewhere like Ellison or Joe Rich. If you're in Kelowna, you're in the southeastern neighborhood, the land here is pretty expensive, so the homes are pretty expensive here. The average price for a single family home here at the time of this video is $1,475,958, so definitely on the higher side, but with that you are getting quite a bit more land than you would in any other neighborhood. And again, who I feel like this neighborhood is for is someone who wants that rural countryside living with very close access to downtown, someone who wants to be in Kelowna but wants a lot more space and maybe wants to build their custom estate here. This is going to be the area where you want to do it. Or if you want to start a hobby farm, you want to have an orchard that you can lease out, you want to be close to Kelowna's wineries and more rural environment with nature at your fingertips, from hiking trails to golf courses, then Southeast Kelowna is going to be your #1 choice for sure. This definitely ranks high on my list for one of my favorite communities in all of Kelowna, and if you're here, you should definitely check it out. But that's going to wrap us Southeast Kelowna, and now let's move on to the next neighborhood. All right, the next community we're going to be overviewing is Crawford Estates. Now, we're actually not directly in Crawford Estates community. We're just outside of it. I kind of wanted a different perspective. Crawford is actually located a little bit over to my left here, and I have Crawford Canyon behind me. I thought it'd be a cool place to shoot because it kind of shows where Crawford stands. On this side of the canyon here, we have the Upper Mission, and on this side of the canyon, we have the very small family-friendly community of Crawford Estates. Now, I feel like Crawford Estates is often overlooked, especially when people are looking to move here. And I think a reason for that is it is the smallest community we have on the list. And because of that, there's not often too many listings available for people to look at. I know when I bring people here and if I take them on a tour of the city and I bring them through Crawford, it's always a location that gets added to their list because it's such a peaceful, suburban, family-friendly area. If you're a young family, if you're any type of family looking to move to an area where you have large lot sizes, you have that feeling where your kids could open the door, walk out, and just head to a park on their own. You didn't have to worry about them. Crawford is absolutely the place you want to look into. The main characteristics I would say about Crawford is the fact that it backs onto nature. It's sandwiched in between Southeast Kelowna and the Upper Mission. It's a small community where it's large, custom-built single-family homes are built on at least a half an acre. So every lot there is at least a half an acre. So you have a ton of space. You're not squished like in some of the newer developments right up against your neighbor. So it's very desirable in that way. Now, because of the larger acreage sizes, the custom-built homes, the large lots is definitely on the more expensive side when you're looking at homes. The average price for a single-family home here is $1,510,038. So just under Wilden there for one of the most expensive neighborhoods in all of Kelowna. But honestly, it's a beautiful area if that is within your budget. And again, there are more affordable options in that 1 to 1.2 range. And you're someone who wants space and just that peaceful, quiet environment, similar to Southeast Kelowna, but even closer to the amenities, Crawford should definitely be on your list. In terms of actual amenities that Crawford has, it's right next to Myra Bellevue in terms of walking trails. Crawford itself doesn't have any shopping, no actual amenities within it, but now with the ring road that connects Crawford that I'm looking at right now to the Upper Mission, which is a less than a 10-minute drive, you're at the Mission at the Pond Shopping Center. So now you have really quick, easy access to your shopping needs, from groceries to drug stores, liquor stores, dollar stores. And if you just head towards the Lower Mission, you have access to the Mission Fields, the H2O Center, CNC building, and of course, all the fantastic schools that are located in the southeastern core neighborhoods like Anne Climate, Dorothea Walker, Colona Secondary School, Canyon Falls Middle School just over here, which was one of the newest built middle schools in the entire area. So Crawford is another area that if you want peace and quiet with easy access to amenities, it's definitely somewhere that you're going to want to check out. And if you're someone who's a nature lover, I mean, within your community, there's walking trails that lead you right down to Crawford Falls and Crawford Canyon. Again, you're across the road from Myra Bellevue Park, which is an amazing place for hiking and biking trails. And it's one of those neighborhoods which I kind of feel like a lot of these southeastern core neighborhoods has, where it's picturesque. You walk through, there's tons of families out, kids are playing in the streets, there's a lot of parks. And I would say this is the area that lends itself mostly to families, especially because of the large lots, people looking for space, people who are wanting a big, even custom built home. Crawford is an area that's going to definitely be right up your alley. And now we are kind of entering the start of the southeastern core neighborhood. So let's continue on our journey and check out the next location. All right, we are now in another one of Kelowna's most popular neighborhoods. Like I said, when you think of Kelowna, often a couple of neighborhoods that generally pop up when people are interested in moving here are Glenmore and Kelowna's Lower and Upper Mission. And right now, we are in the Lower Mission. The Lower Mission kind of differentiates itself between Colona South and the Upper Mission, where it's sandwiched in between with its lifestyle and amenity options. You're outside of Kelowna's southern section of downtown, so it's a lot more peaceful and quiet, much more of a rural environment. You don't have the views per se of the Upper Mission, but what you have that the Upper Mission doesn't have is its waterfront access. I mean, the beach access through the Lower Mission is unparalleled. From Gyro Beach, Rotary Beach, Bluebird Beach, Hobson, and Sarsens, it's kind of endless because besides those major beach access points, you also have a ton of just water access points at the end of most streets. And if you are familiar with the Okanagan, all the beach frontier is public. Now, it's probably not the best idea to go in front of a private residence on their public beach just to be annoying. There's plenty of beachfront here to go around, but it's definitely one of the unique factors that makes the Lower Mission so popular. Of course, you have amazing access to the Mission Greenway. You have direct access to the H2O Center and the MNP building. You have some of the most fantastic schools in all of Kelowna's with Dorothea Walker and McClyment, Okanagan Mission Secondary School, plus private school and daycare options. And you have some of the best housing options in the entire city, from luxury condos to townhouses to single family homes to waterfront estates. It's another one of those areas that has something for everybody. Now, the closer you get to the water in the Lower Mission, obviously the price tag is going to go up quite significantly. This being one of the most popular areas in the town and having the most waterfront access, it does have a bit of a higher price tag. The average price at the time of this video is $1,398,414. So not as expensive as the Upper Mission or Wilden or even Crawford for that matter, but it does have estates that definitely up the price. The closer you get to the water, if you're off somewhere like Hobson or Sarsens, you're looking at a pretty hefty price tag. But again, the farther you go away from the water, you have much more affordable options. There's a lot of 60s to 80s style homes, even 90s to 2000s that are more on the affordable side, more in line with Kelowna's average single family home price. And you have beautiful new communities like the Orchard and the Mission, which has a lot of that brand new modern construction, West Coast contemporary style. So it has something to fit everyone's needs. The Lower Mission to me is definitely the area I would say exemplifies the Okanagan lifestyle to its fullest extent. And if you're someone who's looking to move here, I definitely think you should check it out because I do feel like it fits a variety of lifestyles. And you can see from these B-roll clips how truly beautiful this area is. So that finishes up the Lower Mission. Now let's go check out the other half of the mission. All right, you can probably tell by the incredible views behind me, but we are now in the other half of the Lower Mission. We're in the Upper Mission. And to me, that's kind of really what separates the Lower and the Upper Mission. The Lower has the beach and waterfront, where the Upper Mission has honestly incredible views just like this. Now, it has a ton of similar characteristics to the Lower Mission in terms of the fact that this is a very family friendly area. You have some brand new custom modern built homes. You have more affordable single family homes. Now in the Upper Mission, you actually have some condo options. Up on the top of Kuipers, you have a few really very little townhouse options, but this is an area that has a beautiful mix of cul-de-sac, small single family communities, brand new master plan communities like the Trailhead at the Ponds, which I've covered in several videos before. And realistically, depending on the size of the home, depending on what kind of view you got, the price can really fluctuate here from the low $900,000 to anywhere above $2 million. One of the biggest things that's happened in this community in the last, at least almost decade since I've been here, is the fact that we do have the Pond Shopping Center. So now we have direct and immediate access to amenities, which obviously is a great thing for convenience. If you're someone who lives here, it just means you're making a lot more trips to the grocery stores, because now when you're out and you get home and you forgot something, it's just a block walk. So my grocery bill has definitely gone up significantly since that got here. But in terms of convenience, I can't really complain. The Pond Shopping Center has a Dollarama, a Bosley's, a liquor store, a Starbucks, a Save On Foods, and there's more to come in this area. So it's been incredibly convenient, and I definitely think it's added to the overall appeal of the Upper Mission, because I think that was one of the knocks in the Upper Mission is it had access to amenities through the Lower Mission, but now we have our own set of amenities. And also, people sometimes complain about the traffic during the rush hour or school hour times. Now with the ring road that connects Crawford and the Upper Mission, it's definitely eased the flow of traffic in and out of the Upper Mission. So in the last decade since I've been here, I've seen some significant improvements. You have a variety in terms of the style of houses, from more Tuscan style builds to West Coast contemporary to these brand new modern style homes. And the average price for a single family home at the time of this video is $1,414,455. So again, up there on the more expensive side. Some of the other amenities that the Upper Mission is known for is its incredible access to nature, where you can hop on some of the trails in Kettle Valley like Johnson Family Conservancy or the Lebanon Creek trails, or you can head up to the Thompson Flats area and the Chute Lake area where there's tons of biking trails, walking trails, and there are parks scattered throughout this neighborhood. You're going to share some of the fantastic schooling options of Southeast Kelowna with access to Dorothea Walker and Emma Clyman Elementary School, to the brand new Canyon Falls Middle School, and for your secondary school you would be going down the hill again into the Lower Mission to Okanagan Mission Secondary School. So in terms of the person I think is best suited for the Upper Mission, I often gravitate with these southeastern core neighborhoods to families. People are looking for their second home and maybe want to increase in space. Now with the addition of condos right behind the ponds, I think it can attract some young professionals or people who are looking to get into the market and want to be in a fantastic area. This is a great place for also people who are looking for that executive style living, you know, people looking for that beautifully built, high quality 3 to 4 bedroom style home with incredible views and looking for their final home to spend some time in. The Upper Mission is also going to be a fantastic option for that. I definitely have a fondness for the southeastern core here, but as you've seen through these videos, there are fantastic options from the tip of the city to the bottom of it. But we're making our way through from the northern tip to the city to the most southeastern part, and that's where we're going to hit up next with our last and final neighborhood. All right, we are now at the final community in this gigantic, full-fledged A to Z tour and guide of all of the Kelowna communities. And of course, there's no better place to end it than in Kettle Valley. On our map, it's the most southeastern community, actually, sitting just below the Upper Mission and often gets lumped in with the Upper Mission. Obviously, the Upper and Lower Mission have their connection, and the Upper Mission and Kettle Valley being so close often get lumped in together when realtors are putting their listings up. But to me, Kettle Valley is a separate community by itself. It has its own aesthetics. Of course, it shares a lot of the similar characteristics and properties of most of the southeastern communities, as they all do, but Kettle Valley definitely has its own feel and vibe. Similar to Crawford in its family-friendly appeal, it's another one of those places where you go out walking, there's families, kids playing out, people walking their dogs, cutting their grass, everyone is saying hi. You don't have to worry if your kids just walk out the door to one of the many parks that fill up this neighborhood. And it's also one of the most aesthetically beautiful neighborhoods on the list. It's a master plan community and everything has a cohesive feel to it from its many parks. Again, I keep mentioning the parks because per square total kilometers of neighborhoods, Kettle Valley definitely has the most parks per capita. And its housing also has a very cohesive, beautiful aesthetic with these fantastic craftsman style builds of several different colors. Of course, it has the custom homes, it has townhouse options, but it is one of those unique communities that has a separate vibe to the rest of the city. It's something you should really check out and come experience for yourself. Whether you're going to bring your kids to the Kilchana Park, you're going to come to one of these many lookouts to overlook Lake Okanagan and the beautiful views on West Kelowna, or maybe you're going to go to the Kettle Valley pub on Main Street and grab a bite. Kettle Valley has a few amenities. You'll see this little strip mall that has a coffee shop, a yoga studio, a gym, a convenience store, the Kettle Valley pub. And of course, it being so close to the Upper Mission, it shares all of the amenities of the Mission at the ponds. And since it is a family-friendly community, the entire community is centered around Chute Lake Elementary School, which is another fantastic school in the area. The average price for a single-family home at the time of the video is $1,523,719. So again, on the higher end of price, and that's because there are some large custom builds here, and they're building up the mountain here in Kettle Valley. So as you go up, your view starts to improve, the dollar signs start to stack up on the listing price of your home. But again, there are affordable options when it comes to townhouse. Even the section right across from the Kettle Valley pub on Main Street has some really beautiful new townhouse options that can get you into a brand new build in the 700,000 mark, which depending on where you're coming from may be reasonable or it might be on the higher end. But to me, this neighborhood is meant for anyone who's looking to start their family, looking into a more custom, bigger home with some views. Or if you're a young professional and want to get into the townhouse market and you want to be a little bit out of town because you are about 20 to 25 minutes from Kelowna's downtown, this could be a fantastic option for you. But as you can see, as we've gone through these videos, there are a ton of different options, a ton of neighborhoods that stretch out the entirety from the tip of Kelowna Kelowna to the bottom that have unique characteristics. They're meant for a particular type of person to suit a variety of lifestyles. And it can be hard if you're moving to an area that you've never been to, or even if you live in the Okanagan and you're just not as familiar with it. That's why I made this video. I hope you guys stuck it out through the whole video so you could really experience everything that Kelowna has to offer. And if you are moving here or you live here and you want to learn more about this area, you got to reach out to me. I can help you decide what neighborhoods or areas are going to be more suitable for your lifestyle, and of course the areas that aren't going to match with your lifestyle at all. And to reach out, you can call me, text me, email me at the information on the screen right now or linked in the description down below. I also have a free 30-minute consultation where you can book a time with me. We can meet on Zoom and I can answer any questions you have. I have people reaching out to me every single week that I help out, and I love to be your Kelowna guide and relocation specialist. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to put as much effort and detail into this one as I possibly could because I think videos like this that map out the neighborhoods and tell you everything there is to know about Kelowna are really important. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure if you did enjoy or you want other similar videos like this, you subscribe to my channel Living in Kelowna, BC, and check out my playlist at the end of the video. Again, my name is Brett Baholi, your Okanagan realtor and relocation specialist. This is my channel Living in Kelowna, BC, and I will catch you in the next video.